Imagine your business not just surviving, but thriving. Your wealth locked in, your opportunities exploding, and your family's future built on a legacy that never fades. I'm Leah Garcia, a financial strategist and insurance professional. I help entrepreneurs and high-growth enterprises protect, distribute, and transfer their wealth through my proven system, the Wall of Wealth. I unite your experts into one cohesive strategy because the most expensive line on your balance sheet isn't debt or taxes, it's conflicting advice. Ready to align every dollar with your mission and turn today's success into tomorrow's divine promise. Wealth today, dynasty tomorrow.
Happy Wealthy Wednesday. Come on in, grab your fuzzy slippers, grab something nice to drink, get your notepad. Today is going to be an incredible topic. I am so honored to have the one and only queen here. She's the one and only queen. I know we have lots of queens, but she's the only queen in my heart. And today we're going to talk about how your words impact what you earn. Let's explore that. Do you believe that? What do you think about words? You know what? I'm the dynasty builder, and I talk about building your wealth, building your family dynasty. And I talk to people every single day about their wealth. And it's incredible to me, the words that sometimes come out of people's mouths. On one hand, they will have worked hard and accumulated some wealth and accumulated some things. And on the other hand, they will just say words that, in my mind, it's like nails on the chalkboard. Have you guys ever heard that kind of stuff? Things like, oh, I don't even feel like I deserve this money. You know what? It is more than I need to have. I mean, just so many different things that I think we need to explore that, right? We really need to do a deep dive, and that's what we're going to do here today. So you know who this person is. If you don't know her, then I would say you've probably been living under a rock. This is probably your first time being on LinkedIn because she's everywhere. The first time I heard her speak, I looked at her profile and I saw it said Think and Grow Rich, and I knew exactly why I was so excited about hearing from her, because she studies not only Bob Proctor, but she does a deep dive on Think and Grow Rich. She's a Think and Grow Rich master. She's a thought leader. She's somebody that has studied under many known professionals, but she has also taken that as her springboard to the next level. And that's what she does. She teaches us every single week on Mind Over Matter Mondays, and then Think and Grow Rich Fridays. And I just think she has such a generous spirit. I'm just overwhelmed that she's here with us today. So please give it up for the one and only Queen Leslie Flowers. Thank you so much. Welcome to Wealthy Wednesday, my queen.
Hi, Leah.
How are you today?
I am fabulous. How's my audio? Is it okay? Can you hear me? Leah? Can you hear me?
As always, I can hear you. So our topic is what we say is what we earn. What we say is what we earn. And
yes, if you look,
I know for me, hearing what. Can you hear me?
I can, but there seems to be a tremendous delay. And I wanted to tell you, in the private chat between you and I is the list of things that we wanted to talk about. I found it.
Can you hear me?
Yes. Can you hear me?
Awesome.
Can you hear me?
Yes. Okay, perfect. We're good.
There's a huge lag between us.
Yes, they can hear us. All right. Everybody can hear us. We're good. We're ready. We're ready to go.
Okay, good.
So kick it off. Kick it off for us, my queen.
All right. Well, I'm very happy to be here. And and I'm hoping you heard me, so that you can see in our private studio chat is the list of items that you and I were going to talk about today. And I am excited to talk with Leah about the power of our words. And it seems so silly and so simple that what you could say could make all the difference in revenue generation or not making money, right? Or being consistent with your revenue generation. And give me a thumbs up, Leah, if we're good on audio. Okay,
Good on
good.
audio.
Okay, good. I don't know if we're catching up, but it's so good to see everybody. Hello, friends. It's so nice that you're here. So one of the things we want to talk about is why is it one word, right? How can one word inhibit you? And I will give you a quick example that you might relate to. Years ago, I was attending a luncheon at a restaurant that was hired out by a company selling event production. So we got these free lunches. You've been to these things. And we got into a room that was all taped up with cords. And it wasn't a room for production, it was a room for eating. But they made it work. And we all sat down at different tables, and in came the waitress. And the first thing she said to me is, "Sorry." And when she said sorry, for no reason, I watched her body go like this. And no matter what happened, whether I had given her my order, "Sorry," or the person next to me had given their order as she approached, "I'm sorry." And I realized that this young girl didn't know that the low vibration of the word sorry, and women use this the most, and there are many reasons why, and it's very natural for us to do this because we are the nurturers. The one time when she should have said, "I'm sorry," and she did, was when she tripped over the cords and pulled them out, right? But here's the thing, what she kept saying had a very low cellular vibration. We know that what we think, the words we're thinking about and visualizing, either make us feel good or don't. This sorry did not make her feel good. And through repetition, the body does remember. So I will tell you that I was so struck by this young woman that when I was ready to leave, I took her aside and I said, "Don't ever say that again. Please use the word, I apologize. Let me make that right for you." It was very clear to me that no one had ever told her. And her whole life was all about being, "I'm sorry." So even one word, Leah. So what are your thoughts on that?
Sorry is one of those words that I absolutely, it's the chalkboard, and I have agents that I train. And there's one particular agent, I love her, I adore her. She's incredible, but she says sorry for everything. "Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry that," I mean, even if it's not even, it doesn't even belong in the sentence. And I said, "You know what? We're going to work on your words." And what's funny is she looked at me like I had 3 eyeballs. And here's why. I'm teaching her on how to sell insurance, how to sell retirement, financial services. And then I'm sitting on her with her words. She's like, "I thought I was learning how to sell insurance." And I'm like, "Yes, you are." "I thought I was learning about money." "Yes, you are." But if you show up apologizing for every single thing, you are diminishing your value, and people will not look to you as a voice of authority. And by the way, you don't seek yourself out as a voice of authority. So that, I didn't even know you were going to go there, but that word sorry, I think there's a lot of, I don't know, you said it's low vibration, but it's also, it's like you're diminishing an apology. Whenever you do make a genuine apology, you've diminished it because you've been apologizing, saying sorry along the way. Now, for me, if I do something, I try to really not to ever use that word. I say try, don't even say try. I really work on not using that word. And what I use instead is thank you for understanding.
Mm-hmm. Let
Thank
me
you
make
for
that right for
understanding.
you. Let me make that right for you. Let's take a look at this again. The difference is that there is no feeling or emotional. It's a response. It's an objective observation. And when you use the word sorry like that, it does have a low vibration. And you would want to, let me tell you why that causes. So I don't know if you guys remember. Do you remember Louise Hay's book, You Can Heal Your Life? Leah, did you ever hear of that book, Louise Hay's book?
I have it right here. Yeah.
Okay.
I have it right here.
So
I have it right
Louise
here.
Hay's, okay, cool. Her book pinpoints this exactly. So when I needed knee replacement, this is why you can heal your life. You can revenue or generate revenue with particular words. A lot of psychologists already know this, right? I mean, and it's through repetition that you will begin to believe it. Now, when you're trying to sell, when you're selling to someone, hey, Linda Meyer, when you're selling to someone, you want to speak into their listening. So if you come in with, I'm sorry, and with this reactive, apologetic, lower self-worth, it just means that you don't believe in yourself. They won't either, to your point. Why? Because you bring in with you a very low aura or vibration. Yes. And that's what it is. And so sorry is a word, and I do want to say this, though, in fairness, because I mentioned that women use it more. As nurturers for 5,000 years, our job was to fix the boo-boos. So saying I'm sorry, that will be better, giving the whole explanation, right, talking people through things. Excuse me, that was our world. We come into business where men don't do that. Men would say, let me make that right for you. Give me that list, right? If you're in a job with, and you've had a project and your supervisor calls you in and says, look, we got some real issues here with what you've done. You're in your 90-day trial here. And this is a punch list of all the things that have not done well. Now, a woman will start to cry, right, without meaning to, and will give a very long, elaborate dissertation on why it happened. Excuse me, I've been sick for a few weeks. So a man will say, no problem, give me that list. I'll be back with you this afternoon. It'll be done. So they've been practiced in compartmentalizing, being very objective, right, taking the task at hand, but we women were not. So the last 20 years I've spent teaching women how to stop saying I'm sorry. How not to say, I'm going to try. As Yoda says, you do or you don't do. There is no try. So look, I'm trying to drop this tissue. I'm holding the tissue. Now I've dropped it. There is no try. Try does not instill confidence. Well, I'll try to meet that deadline for you. I'll try to do this. And it doesn't instill confidence in you because you're missing that confidence yourself. So there's a bunch of words like that. Like instead of spending, I know you do this. Instead of spending, it's investing. Instead of making money, it's generating revenue. You see the difference of making money is tied to fear and that lower vibration. Oh my God, poverty, I need money. But if you're looking at it objectively, that I'm working on my revenue generation, on my profit and loss, It's a whole different mindset, isn't it? So your turn, Leah.
Totally. That's why I don't talk about budget. Yeah, I never talk about the word budgets. I talk about a spending plan. I think the word budget should be banished. Like we should never talk about that because what does that say? Fear, lack, scarcity. That's somebody telling you, chastising you. Queen Leslie, you can't spend that $7 Starbucks coffee. I never tell my clients how to spend their money, right? I bring awareness to what they're doing. And then through osmosis, they self-regulate, they modulate, they decide, well, you know what? I'm seeing this income grow. I'm watching this pile of money grow. So maybe that $7, maybe I could do without it. I don't ever have to tell them. And so I think there's so many things about money that we have been punished for, and then we've punished ourselves. And another word that I'd love for you to talk about is just. I'm just a mom.
I don't use just. I just published. I'm getting
Why,
ready
though?
to
Tell me why.
I just published my 13th book. No, I didn't just do it. It took a year. It took 2 years. It again demeans it's a reflection of something you didn't see. In fairness to everybody, though, until you see this for yourself, you simply didn't know that you didn't know it, right? And that's the thing. So now you know it. So just as one that I don't use either, unless literally I'm walking out the door, locking it behind me. I'll be there in just a minute. But not like my mother. Hey, Ima, my mother who would say, wait just a minute, I have to find my sunglasses. Wait just a minute, I have to find my keys, and we're all waiting in the car. Wait just a minute, I can't find this, I can't find that. There's your just, right? But it demeans you. So you didn't know about that. The other word, try, don't use try at all. You're either going to do it, and if you fail at it, you're going to make the promise and do it again. Your intention is to do X. You're not going to try to do X. And then if you fail, which you will, then all you do is remake the promise, right? Everybody gets it. That's how you learn when you stumble and fail. There's a couple of other words like this, Leah, but I want people to understand the power of what they're thinking. The internet is filled with brain this, brain that, right? Your brain does this, your brain does that. You got your nervous system this, your body remembers and all that. And it's very clear to me that conventional training in neurology, psychology, and all those fields have never taken a look at the mind and the work of thinking, whereas for 5,000 years, the greatest philosophers have all said, what we think we become. So you see people with neuro and talking about brain collapsing thoughts together. The thinking, which is cellular, it translates into your cells. As who was it that said, Christy said, sorry makes you feel sorry. Exactly. That's what Louise Hay's book is all about. Hey, Jay, it's so you didn't know. Now you do. So my recommendation is make a list of the words you use. Pick one. If you're spending instead of investing, right? It's a game. And through repetition, you actually can embed a new way of thinking. And that is metacognition. And that's what we're talking about here, is the ability to observe our own thoughts. But you got to know about these things, right? Before you can do anything with it. And I'm not sure he means mediation or meditation or being by yourself. Yes, it's good to talk to yourself, but the key here is identify the word and play a game with yourself. Now, here's one that I used with a client, and I've used this very effectively. You can do it with yourself. And it works because it has to do with money. Right? We do love our money, don't we? So, when my clients keep saying, I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I'm sorry. Well, here's what I had them do. They had to get an envelope and put it in their car or in their purse, carry it with them always. Anytime the word sorry slips out of their mouth, they have to put a $5 bill in the envelope. Immediately. And there's something about, and you can't touch the money. So you can't then go buy Taco Bell and get something and take that $5. No. And it takes about 3 or 4 deposits into that envelope before the habit is broken. There's something about the fear of poverty. There's something about, maybe you can talk about this, Leah, that there's something about actually taking money right then. You can't wait. It's like, you've got to do this right now. You take the $5 bill out. You make sure you have some. You don't have the excuse, right? You're accountable to yourself. You put it in the envelope. Now, you know the money's in there. And even if the word slips halfway out, like you almost, right? You still put the $5 in. When I did this in 1972, it was a dime. It took 40 cents for me to get over whatever that. So what is it about that combination of fear of poverty, desire for abundance, literally being prepared to punish yourself, hold yourself accountable, take a physical action that's very specific where you can't touch it, right? Until a certain date, since you've broken the habit. How do we bring that together? Anybody in the audience too? What is that? And I don't know. What is the interlacing of somehow physically taking money when you have broken your word, right? What is that? What do you think, Leah?
I love that you said that. It brings up 2 thoughts for me. Number 1 is money likes speed. And some people kind of don't understand what I'm saying, that if you understand your core values, if you understand what some basic rules about money, if you understand what your end goal is, you can quickly make decisions. And so by doing that, not only are you obeying, to me, the first rule of money, which is money likes speed. Wealth takes time, but money likes speed. But you're also building that muscle memory, right? We're making those connections, those neurons that we're connecting. Hey, this is the penalty, or maybe we shouldn't even use that word penalty. Listen, this is the exchange. I like to talk about exchange principles. This is the exchange that I'm making here. Yeah. And do I like making that exchange? Would I rather use those $5 for that Starbucks? But now I think Starbucks is probably $10, so I'm not really sure.
I hear you. So it's a very interesting thing. And what I discovered a number of years ago at a big personal development event, that my relationship with money, and I want to hear what you say about this too, Leah, and the audience as well. I had this epiphany during a sharing moment, and we were to talk to our neighbor, right? It was paired sharing, and each person had a turn. We would talk to our neighbor as though it were money in our life. And so it sounded like this. Where have you been? I have done all the work. I don't see you coming anywhere. You're not doing what you're supposed to do. And in that moment, the epiphany was, that's the same kind of relationship I had with my husband. That the relationship with food also is the same kind of a thing. But I realized that my up and down relationship with money was a match to my up and down relationship with my husband. What do you have to say about that, baby? Like that?
Oh, that's a deep one right there. Okay, that's a deep one. This is what I would say about that. This is what I would say about that. I heard someone say, actually, Jake Ducey, I don't know if you know Jake Ducey, but he says money has ears and it hears you when you speak about it, when you call it about it, right? And yes, so I'm divorced, been divorced for many years. I was married for 19 years, and he was very much a spender. Credit cards, I think we had like at one point 21 or 22 credit cards, and I'm very much not that, obviously. So we were definitely not aligned at all. I should have known better when he said he wanted to retire and move to Texas. I'm sorry, Texas, I love you, but that was not my dream. It took me a little bit longer to figure it out. It was not the right match, but there you go.
So let's go back a little bit to why one word, practicing expenses and revenue, avoiding using words that don't make you feel good, words that are not objective, but they're more subjective. So I want to share with you Bruce Lipton's work from his book, Biology of Belief, and his research, so that you understand that what we're thinking every time we think something over and over and over again, if it has a charge to it, a good feeling or a bad feeling, right? That is transferred into every cell of your body. Now, what happens there is when it is a positive charge, all proteins in all cells move in unison in one direction. There's a spring in your step, directly from the words you continually say and their associated feeling or vibration that you have. So if you're thinking about revenge, right, you might stub your toe, right? A lot of things can happen because it lowers your vibration, your whole body's vibration, and we're built for love and kindness. So we operate the best when we're happy, healthy, and wealthy, right? When we're thinking good thoughts, but that's not our nature. So what he discovered, Bruce Lipton did also as a research scientist, that when you said sorry and you felt really bad, that the proteins all moved together in another direction and slowed the cellular vibration down. This immediately affects your body and your nervous system. So you tell yourself, I'm going to do a breathing technique to relax my vagus nerve when I have heart palpitations. Then I go into the breathing. My mind has told me this is what you're going to do. What you're thinking feeds the body and the brain. The body and the brain will do nothing on their own without direction other than the instinct, like an animal would have instincts. You do have those. But when you have conscious awareness and intelligence, it's more of a complex dance between which thought will win out, which thought is the stronger. And truth is that our negative thoughts are. Yes, they come from our fears. Yes, they come from bad experiences. And yes, they come from the input that we're exposed to. So this work is about intentionally taking those words that have a low vibration and raising them and picking a different word. Oops, sorry about that. Now, the next thing that happens in your brain is the words and the vibration set up the chemical cocktail for new neural pathways. Or if it's more negative, lots more negative thought, you still have that going on, but now we're deepening the negative neural pathways, which means much more quickly will you revert or default to the negative. When you change a word from spending to investing, let's say that those are the two words you're going to work on for 2 weeks. Whenever those words come up, you're going to intentionally say the other word that's more objective. And it's going to feel silly to begin with, right? When you first do it, it feels silly, but do it anyway, because it's through repetition of the way what you're speaking and how you're feeling repetitively that sets up that chemical cocktail in your brain that teaches your body how to behave based on that vibration. And then you're creating new neural pathways for a more positive and objective response rather than the age-old default of the negative. So thought is missing from conventional training, my friends, right? How to think and how to use the mind to instruct the body and the brain. When you don't know about it, there's no practical application. If we didn't talk about this and I didn't tell you, or someone else didn't tell you exactly what could you do intentionally with your thinking to change these things or create new patterns or new neural pathways, all you would hear is, well, it's the brain that does that. Oh, it's the body that does that. And it was Catherine Chadwick who made the connection for me, because she's more neuro and she's mind and she's vagus. So now you know. Oh, that sounds like a motorcycle. So now at least you can see that the brain is an organ, the body is the meat suit, and your mind is what feeds both. So what you are thinking causes all your results. You are responsible for all of it in your life. Even if you don't know what you did or why, it comes from you. You generated this thing knowing or not knowing. Okay, I'm going to be quiet now because we got lots of smart people, right? Lots of smart people. Hey, Felipe. Hey, Sharon Rose. Your thoughts?
Yeah, I love this comment by Miss Rosie, from budget to print.
Love it. Love it.
I love that word. I love it. What would you say about affirmations? Because a lot of people teach affirmations when it comes to attracting wealth. They say to create like a little, a scripted story, and then you repeat it several times a day. What would you say about that?
Well, it's true, but there are some nuances around it. It's like doing a vision board. It's not enough, but it's helpful. Okay, now affirmations must be done a certain way. Think about prayer. I guess when we're little, we do mouth the words, but honestly, when we really need to get in touch with a higher source and we want to talk to the universe, to God, we don't go in there and just recite things. No. We say, listen, God, I've done everything I know. I want to heal here. What else can I do? You are generating it authentically, and you are causing the vibration of love. And remember that the universe senses everything by vibration. When you have high vibration, it sends you high vibration things. When you have a low vibration, it sends you low vibration things. It's not picky, right? It will give you what you ask for if you're ready for it. So affirmations do work. One of Bob Proctor's was, I'm so happy and grateful now that money comes to me from all different sources. And in Silva Mind Control, it's Coulé's quote that Jose Silva used, every day I'm getting better and better and better. So yes, if you repeat those things, but you mean it, you have to mean it. Don't waste your time. Pretend you're in front of 10,000 people and you're teaching them this, because this vibration is attached to the visualization of you already having what you want. And that is what will land on your doorstep. That is manifestation. Visualization is the DNA required to manifest. And the DNA is wrapped up in what you're thinking while you're working on the goal the most. And if it's good and it's positive and your vibration is high, and you don't let fear take over. You remind yourself why if you get fearful. As time goes on, you have now created faith in your ability, your deservability, and you've also created the chemical cocktail to create new positive neural pathways. Now, look, this is the 6th grade version. I'm just learning. But what I've told you, if you check with Sharon Rose or Catherine, what I'm telling you is very elementary. It's only a way to kind of piece together, right, what is actually going on. And you have power. So what I would do is I would make a list of the words around money, do a Benjamin Franklin, right? And use the law of polarity, the law of opposites. What are the words you use? Oh, I say, I'm sorry. I say, I try, all these things. I say, just. Another one is wish. Now, we do have Wishful Wednesday tonight, but you got to follow it up with some action, and you got to really have a good reason for it. It's got to be heart-centered. It's got to make a difference. When you pray to God, you pray for goodness. So you're escalating the amplitude of vibration of your proteins in your cells, which sends the message to your nervous system, which sends the message to the body, which then sends the message to the brain. Oh, we've got some really positive thoughts going on here. Let's create a new neural pathway. So it's through repetition that these pathways were built to begin with. I need a drink of water. I mean, I could go on forever, but what's coming up for you, my friendly?
Yeah, I love that Ben Franklin tea. I love the Ben Franklin tea. That's such an old fashioned. When I talk about that, people don't know what I'm talking about, but it's just doing a little tea like that, and then you put on one side and you compare to the other side. So if anybody doesn't know that, people always ask me that, what is that Ben Franklin tea? Right?
Well, yeah, it's the pros.
But it can be a really powerful exercise.
It's the pros.
How about, this is one thing I really wanted to ask you. I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead. I can let you talk now. Please.
Well, we want to learn from you. I really want to ask this because this is something that I do talk about with my precious grandson. He's 7 years old now. And what about when people say things about you? So like he had a situation out on the playground. And to me, this is what I told him. Listen, mijo, you don't ever let anyone put those words on you. You wipe them off. You cancel that. Even if you don't say it out loud, you know that those don't belong to you. Those are not the words, and you describe yourself better. You say better words about yourself. That's how I explain it to a 7-year-old. But what would you say about that when people think about us, you're lazy or I don't know, whatever people try to put on us? What would you say about that?
That's a tough question for me. Let me think here. Of course, if you're aware like you are, you can come up with a way of explaining it. It's not too soon to let your children know that there's the good and the bad within them too, that there are voices within them. They sometimes think naughty things or bad things, and they know they shouldn't. And then you can use the law of polarity, and you can do exactly what the Benjamin Franklin, what I didn't finish is that you put down the word you use, then put down the opposite, which is objective. One is subjective, negative. The other one is objective and has no charge. And that's where you want to go. So I guess it would depend on his age. He's 7 years old. Did someone say something about you in front of him? Did they chastise him in front of you? Was there a specific example?
Little kids on the playground. Oh, Maverick, you're not the smartest kid in the room, or, different things like that. Just kind of teasing. Just kids being kids. But still, to me, I heard something.
I would do what you did. I I think that's all there is to do. I was in Clubhouse yesterday, and the conversation got to children and devices and the limited education that they're getting now, and intelligence and measurements, etc. And this person said that all of his kids weren't allowed to have a smartphone until they were seniors. He was the only parent that did it. And the struggles, we're actually going to talk about this at another time, the peer pressure. So that's really what you're dealing with. And then they gang up, right? I mean, what if they give Maverick a nickname? Oh my God, right? And everybody starts, I don't know what. I would continue to reinforce who he really is in the world. And you do that best, right? And to explain that other children may not have the same loving home, because those kids are missing something. We know this, right? There's something missing for them if they're being ugly. But then, I raised my children well, and I can remember one of my kids when they were little saying, "Oh, Mama, that lady is fat." And I thought, Matthew, you'll hurt her feelings, right? Don't say that. So that's a simple way, but it was people saying things about Maverick, not Maverick being a bad boy. So that's the best I can do. But maybe here, Sharon Rose says, tell Maverick, I am rubber, you are glue. Whatever you say bounces off me and sticks to you. What was it? What do we used to say? What was it we used to say, Leah? Sticks and stones may break my bones.
What do we used to say?
My
bones, but names will never hurt me.
That's right. That's right. Hey, maybe that's what it is. Maybe that's what it is. Hey, PP Tori, so it's really about the practical application of words. What we've learned is that this will be easy if you pick one word at a time.
One word.
Do that for a week or two. You can charge yourself $5 or not, right? But the thing is be aware when you use it. Laugh, right? Laugh at yourself. Watch how many times it takes you to break that habit when it's top of mind. Once you've got one done, because I use invest and generate revenue all the time now. But it felt really awkward to me when I first started doing it. That's why I only picked one word at a time, right? Just one. Let me practice this with one word. This is mind. This is developing your character one element at a time. And that's the work that I teach. And we all want everything to happen really fast. It happens pretty fast if you pick one.
Yeah, so my question is, do our words really impact what we earn?
I think they do. Let's pretend that I'm coming to work for you. I see you've got openings for people to join your team. And I walk into the room. I'm sorry, Miss Garcia, Miss Leah. I'm sorry I was late. The dog peed on my shoe and I had to change my shoe. And then I tripped coming down the stairs and it was a mess. But I would love to come and work for you. You work with money, right? I don't know a lot about money. I spend it freely and I love having it. I'd like to be a professional around the financial industry. So I want to make more money, help people make money, right? And not to worry so much about a plan, to kind of have hope and prayer that money will come to us. I'm a big believer in the universe giving us what we need. Now, Leah, are you going to hire this woman? She used every word that should have tricked your intuition to say, oh my God, you need to send this poor person to a therapist first, or not a coach first. You'd have to be the coach. So yes, one word can make a difference. If I come in and it's nice to meet you, Ms. Garcia, I'm really excited about the financial industry. I'm very much interested in investing my own money. I'm not sure exactly the best way to pare it out, right? Do you see the difference? One is objective. I have studied finance, and I've helped different small businesses make plans, work on their profit and loss statement. So my point is that if you do one at a time in your industry, before you know it, there's about 5 or 6 words that really need changing. Can't you see that would make a difference? Because while you're doing that, every time you do it, you're not in a negative vibration. You're not at the fear of poverty is not involved in the conversation. You see, money and revenue, one is business and one is kind of home, right? So yes, I think that if you want to make money and you want to go into work with you,
and so go ahead.
No, you go ahead. Your turn.
Well, I think that's such a great point. It's like, definitely meet people where they are, but are they open to growing? Not everybody's open to growth. And they use their words. This is the way I've always been. I've always thought about this. This has worked for me. Then I would say they're not a good match. They're probably not even a good match to be a client of mine, because I really do pick my clients. I'm looking for people who truly do want to create a dynasty. And maybe they don't have the money right now, but they have a vision of having more. And I don't care where they start. If they've got debt, they have money, don't have money, they have a family history of not having money. It's really, what is the vision that you want to create? That, to me, that gets me excited. That's why I love what I do, is working with somebody who wants that. But if they're not open to it, then they're probably not a good person for my team, not a good person for me to work with, probably not even a good person for me to be around, right? Because I really work on protecting my energy. We only have so much energy.
But keep in mind, too, that those people that are not ready now and you don't want to work with, they simply aren't aware yet. They haven't been bitten by the bug. Everybody wakes up at a different time. They could come back fully ready, willing, and able. You know, Leah, we met last year and a lot of things have happened. So we must not close the door. Well, we can't make anybody wake up. And listen, all the people that are here, they do this every week, right? Several times a week. They will take someone in this group, maybe more than one, will take one word that we've talked about, the actual practical application, the planting of the seed for a new word with a new vibration that becomes part of you, right? That you do this from now on, and it always keeps your vibration high, or at least doesn't knock it down. Everyone's not open for growth, not at the same time. Everyone will be, and it may be on their deathbed. Even then, Les Brown used to say, you know, what was it? Okay. He says you're on your deathbed and you've never really figured it out, and all your dreams are standing around you, looking down at you, saying, "We've always been here. Why didn't you use us?" So they will. We all do ultimately, but it's better now than later. That's what I think, right? Your turn. Did you have another question? Leah? Uh-oh. I'm not sure. Can you hear me?
You cut out for a second? Go ahead.
Oh, no, I was just asking you, what next do you
I
want
can.
to
You
talk?
cut out for just a second.
Okay. Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? Okay, how about the audience? Can you guys hear us? Oh my goodness gracious. I don't know what's happening. All right. So, gosh, we're almost through here. Leah, can you hear me?
now.
Okay,
I
go
can hear you
ahead.
now.
Go ahead if you have a question.
I'm so sorry, my queen. I didn't hear your question.
No, I'm asking you to give me a question. Did you hear me? Oh, goodness gracious.
Here's the last thing. Yeah, I didn't hear the question. If you want to go ahead and say it again, I can hear you now, hopefully.
No, I had asked you if you had any questions. Oh my gosh. What are your thoughts about what we just talked about?
I don't know why I can't hear that question. One last question I would ask you. This is something that happened to me this morning. I woke up, did my prayer, did my meditation, did my workout, my affirmations. I'm reading. I'm like ready to be with the queen and have this conversation. And then I get in the shower and oh, muck, I forgot my soap, right? Okay. I don't know what and so Matt, I want to know if we do all these things, can one thought kind of negate the work that we've done, or how does that work energetically?
We're
Like if we're
outweighing.
like, for example, let's say we're doing all the things, we're looking at our words, we're up our language, we're ready to receive this wealth, but this will never work. What was I thinking about? Like, how does that balance out? Like, where does that leave us?
Well, that's a good question because we are beginning with the default of perfect faith in our fears, right? So our languaging, especially the negative languaging that we repeat without thinking about it, is the stronger thought. We only have one thought at a time. So you're not going to have a negative thought and a positive thought at the same time. The tie goes to the runner, and the runner is your fear. So the work that we do by working on these words as example, one at a time, is building a muscle. The word grows like a muscle in direct proportion to its use. We have thought these negative, fearful thoughts zillions of times, and we feel crappy every time because we visualize it as though it just happened and it drops our cellular vibration. Once, though, you have established an achievement of something you didn't know how to do, something that you were compelled to do, maybe you failed at before, or you didn't know how to do. So there's a lot of fears that come up. I failed before. What will people think of me? That's primarily criticism and judgment. Those are very strong, repeated thoughts. They have power. And what we're doing is disarming them, outweighing them. And you build perfect faith in your ability and your deservability when you complete things that you didn't know how to do and that you failed at, then they basically have disproven that you would be criticized or that you can't do it because you've just done it. That is how you got those negative beliefs. So really what we're doing is using the same pattern of repetition, but with intention and one at a time, because you can be very frustrated if you're trying to work on several words at a time. Oh, this is ridiculous. It's not working. Right? So the effort is to practice it enough that it embeds also in your subconscious mind and lives like the truth, just like your fears do. Now, when something happens, you have choices. Will you pick the stronger, higher side thought that you've just worked on, expenses, which is further riding on your positive neural pathway that you've created by doing this thing? Or if you give up, the same thing is still happening, only it's further deepening the negative neural pathways. So you can't have both. One is stronger. And what we're doing is building these mental muscles, if you will, objectively, so that when we get an idea that would normally freak us out, we aren't going to discard it right away. Well, I can't do that. I don't know how to do that. I don't have the money for that. What if I get sick? What if I fall in love and they leave me? Instead of that, you actually objectively have the power now to say, wait, I'm going to do this. That is what we're going for. But we're starting out in the hole. Right? And think about all the people who didn't come today, who will watch the replay, people who don't know about the mind. I've been doing this for 25 years, and I can tell you it works. But there are certain ways of making it easier and quicker, right? And that's what I love doing. Yeah. Did that answer your question? Shall we play?
Yes, it does. And I believe it's also energy that we put behind it, right? If we put if we just say the words, to me, that's static. But if we put the visualization, we put our emotion, we see the person that we love congratulating us, and we create a story, and we hear the sound, music that's playing, and all of these things, then to me, I know for me, that's when it's become more of a reality. And I've learned a lot of that through studying you, my queen. The Fridays, I love your Fridays. I love your Mondays. I love how generous you are. So much that you pour into us that you could absolutely be charging for. We owe you so much, not only for what you pour into us every week, but really for what you do for the community. You post everything, you have the carousel, you promote us, you show up for us. And there's nothing more generous than that, giving your time and your knowledge. And that's why one of the reasons why I have so much respect and adoration for you is because I've watched you do it in different spaces, under different circumstances, under different conversations. I've not only how you emulate it, and also I've heard it from other people. So I would love to say you just do it for me, but I know you do it for all of us. We appreciate you so much.
Oh, you're so kind to have me. And I really, my hope and prayer is that, and my intention.
So how can people reach you? Where could people find you for anybody who isn't connected with you as we're winding down here?
Okay. Well, let me thank you, Leah, for having me. And I really enjoy this conversation with you. You can find me Mondays and Fridays, 11 a.m. Eastern live. Mondays is Mind Over Matter Mondays, where we bring in guest teachers each week to share different perspectives in personal and professional development so that you have a nice, good foundation of understanding. And then on Fridays, I do the Think and Grow Rich study, Principles, Leadership, and Laws. So you start your week out with a very positive, point of view, and you can complete it with a little study and move into the weekend feeling really on top of the world. And that was my intention for anyone here, is that you take one word that you don't like, that you would be willing to work on, right, for a week or two, and just do it and watch what happens. Eventually, you will never say sorry again, unless it's sorry for your loss. That's the one I can't get rid of. If someone passes away, I don't, there isn't another word like this was bad fortune. I just can't do that. But you'll be amazed at how you grow. And thank you, Leah, for having us all here today. And so nice to see everyone. Okay.
Thank you so much. And we're going to put you down in the mimosa room. I'm not sure what's down there, but don't go away though, because we're going to have a little powwow afterwards. I know that you all got a lot of value out of this. Listen, this is why we show up here, so that we can get to the next level. We all are somewhere in that same book, right? We're all in the same book, but we're in a different chapter. So I want to know, what is the one takeaway you have? What is the one word that you want to upgrade? Is it just like, I'm just a mom, or I'm just downloaded my, wrote my first book? Is it sorry? Do you apologize constantly for every single thing? Like, what is that one word that you're going to upgrade and give that penalty? Like, I would love to hear if you actually do that and you upgrade your language. I believe that language is so powerful. Somebody put it in the comments. I believe it was our great storyteller, Jay Pascal. Words are so powerful. We call it spelling. And my mentor said this to me years ago. If we understood how powerful our words were, we would never even think a negative thought about ourselves. So many of us are not only putting words on other people, but we're putting words on ourselves, and we're diminishing the work that we're doing, right? You're working so hard to accumulate this wealth. You're working so hard to provide for your family. And then it's almost like you take it away or put something on it by saying things about that we shouldn't be saying about ourselves and about our wealth. If you're here, it's because you're the one in your family. I truly believe that. You're the one in your family that's supposed to change your last name forever. That's a huge undertaking. Somebody's tied to your little red wagon, and they're maybe secretly, they're hoping and praying that you win. And maybe that means that you amass a fortune, but maybe it means you're the first one in your family to be out of debt. Maybe it means you're the first one in your family to buy a home. Maybe it means you're the first one in your family to take a vacation. When I grew up, we didn't even take vacations. I didn't know what vacations were, right? So I don't know what that means to you, but embrace the words, upgrade your language. And I promise you, if you did this for 90, 100 days, because I always say champions, we go through the goal. Some people talk about 90 days. I say we're champions, we go 100 days. And something is putting down my word. I learned that from the great Catherine Chadwick. Put down the word of the day. And don't just put down a word, like make a story about it. If you'd see my whiteboard over here, I have a little drawing, I have a little story, so that as I go through the day, that's the word that I'm working on. And today's word is powerful, right? I want to be powerful how I show up. I want to be powerful how I show up for all of you. And I got a little Popeye drawing over there, because when I was little, Popeye was my idea of powerful. So thank you so much, everybody. We appreciate you, Team Live. We love you and adore you, Team Replay. And share this with somebody who needs to hear the message. And if you're looking for a guest speaking opportunity, I'd love to chat with you. Thank you so much, everybody. Remember, your wealth today is your dynasty tomorrow. Thank you, everybody.
Are you ready to take control of your financial future? Introducing Leah Garcia's Wall of Wealth, the ultimate one-page financial plan to protect, distribute, and transfer your wealth with confidence. Whether you're a business owner or just starting your financial journey, this step-by-step guide gives you the tools to create a solid foundation for long-term success. Don't wait to transform your money mind shift. Download your free copy today at leagarcia.io and start building your wall of wealth now.